In previous session, that means in the past session, we have completed the problems in line integral, right? Once you tell me, ma, I didn't remember that. We completed our problems under the line integral topic, right, Uday?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Today, I will discuss the very most important theorem, that is Cauchy's theorem. I will tell you the importance of Cauchy's theorem after this theorem explanation. So first, be clear, be active while explaining the theorem. If you miss the single point, you can't understand the theorem statement and also proof. It is very important. So we are having two theorems here. One is Cauchy's theorem. The another one is Cauchy's integral formula. I damn sure any one of these two will become in the main exams. So that you be attentive throughout the session. Yes, Cauchy's theorem. So this theorem statement is, if f of z is analytic at all points inside and on a closed curve C. See here the diagram. I took one curve, that is closed curve C. The region inside the curve C, that means the part inside the closed curve C is nothing but a region capital R. So we considered one diagram. So the diagram is a closed curve whose inside part is called region capital R. So now f of z, our theorem, Cauchy's theorem states that if the function f of z, this f of z may be z square or z by z plus 1, whatever it may be. This f of z is analytic at every point on this curve, at every point on this curve, and also at every point inside this curve. Then we simply write the integration of f of z dz is equal to 0. F of z dz is equal to 0. Understood? Now, let me see the proof of this. I will explain the importance of theorem after the proof. Now, that means we need to prove this LHS integral is equal to 0. So, first take LHS integral. Integration over C, f of z dz is equal to. What is f of z general formula? Tell me, ma, what is f of z general form? What is f of z?
U plus IV.
It is always fixed. Whenever you have a question like f of z, what is f of z means? It will be always u plus iv. Okay. Next, d of z is x plus iy. So dz is equal to d of x plus iy is dx plus idy. So this u plus iv is f of z, dz is dx plus idy. Now multiply these two. So u dx plus u into I dy, that is iu dy, plus iv dx plus I into I square v dy. So I square v dy, that is equal to integration over C u dx plus iu dy plus iv dx. Next, I square is minus 1. So that is minus v dy. Just I copied every term in this integral here. And only simplification done here is I square. I square v dy is nothing but minus v dy. Next, you just separate the real part and imaginary part and then apply integration. Here real part is u dx minus v dy. So that is u dx minus v dy. So after we applied integration to this, next plus, write imaginary part now. So in these two terms, I is there. So keep it out, I times integration over c v dx plus u dy. Yes, any doubt in this equation 1, Ra? Please respond, ma.
No, ma'am.
Yes. So what we did in the beginning, we considered LHS integral and then we substituted f of z and what is dz. After that we simplified and then we applied integration to the real part and also for imaginary part. That is equation number 1. So next, this is not our aim. Our aim is to prove this LHS integral value is equal to 0. That means we need to prove these two integrals in RHS will be equal to 0. So to prove these two integral values equal to 0, I am taking Green's theorem. Without any help, we can't put simply the integral values 0. So to prove these two integral values equal to 0, I considered Green's theorem. This is everybody knows. So it will be a important theorem in vector integration. That already you all studied about this theorem in 18 Math 21. So now just you recall the theorem. Green's theorem states that if m and n are two real valued functions having continuous first order partial derivatives in a region capital R bounded by the curve C, then integration over C m dx plus n dy is equal to double integration over R dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y into dx dy. See, what does it say, Ra? What does the Green's theorem says? You should remember this integral, this equation, integral equation. So that is integration over C m dx plus n dy. That is equal to double integral over the region R. Dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y dx dy. See, take one curve C and this is the boundary curve C. Inside part of C is nothing but region R. This Green's theorem states that the integral along the boundary C is equal to the double integral along this region. So that is m integration C m dx plus n dy is equal to this right hand side part. M and n are two real valued functions. Real valued functions means real functions. For any x and y, these two will give us a real values, not complex values. These two gives us only real values. That is the meaning of real valued functions. So m and n are two real valued functions and they possess continuous first order partial derivatives. Then integration over C m dx plus n dy is equal to double integral over R dou by dou x of n, that is the coefficient of dy, minus dou by dou y of coefficient of dx derivative, that is m dx dy. So now I am going to apply this Green's theorem to our equation 1. Now let you see how we are going to apply this. See, first observe the first integral of equation 1. First integral of RHS is the equation 1. Integration over C u dx minus b dy. Compare this integral with LHS of Green's and then find m and n. What is m here? What is m, Ra? Omkar. Omkar. Sai Karthik. Respond please. Sai Karthik. Srinidhi. Srinidhi. Just unmute your mic and then respond please. Srinidhi. Uday, unmute all ma. Then only they can talk with me.
Everyone are unmuted, ma'am.
Okay. Srinidhi, are you there, ma? Srinidhi. Sharon. Please respond. Sharon. Kirtana.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Now observe this integral and this integral. Tell me what is m and what is n. What is m here, Ra? Uday, what is m?
U, ma'am.
N?
U dx minus v dy.
Yes. What are m and n here? In the first integral of equation 1.
N is U, N is V.
N is?
V.
See, it is plus n, ma. Then say what is n?
Minus V, ma'am.
Yes, minus v. M is u and n is minus v. See now how we applied this Green's theorem to first integral. See, I written here, that is double integral over r dou by dou x of n means minus v. I put here. Next, minus, that is also same. Dou by dou y of m is u, that is dou u by dou y. Next, here is dx dy. Next, plus I times. Now observe the second integral of RHS of 1. It is like m dx plus n dy. What are m and n here? What are m and n? I think everyone is sleeping.
M is U, ma'am.
X comma Y.
X comma y.
What is m and what is n? Where do we find m and n? Which integral we are going to solve now? I think you are all not getting properly. Once again,
V
I
and
will
U,
recall.
ma'am.
This m is v, n is u, ma. For first integral, I simplified here. I applied Green's theorem. Now, I am going to apply the Green's theorem to this second integral. To apply Green's theorem, you have to identify what is m and what is n in this second integral of equation 1. M is v, n is u. So, from this Green's theorem, double integration over r dou by dou x of n, that is u, minus dou by dou y of m, that is v, into dx dy. So that is equal to, you just simplify, that is double integration over r minus dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y dx dy plus I times this integral is copied as usual. Next. So by using Green's theorem, we got these two double integrals. but still we need to get zeros. For that again, I am using Cauchy-Riemann equations. Since this f of z is analytic, so we can use Cauchy-Riemann equations here. What are the Cauchy-Riemann equations? What are the Cauchy-Riemann equations?
Dou u by dou x equals dou v by dou y.
And then,
Dou v by dou x equals minus dou u by dou y.
yes, I written here. You can remember easily. You just substitute these derivative values in the double integrals. So here, double integration over r minus dou v by dou x. Minus dou v by dou x is positive dou u by dou y. I put this and then keep this second term same into dx dy plus I double integration over r is same. Dou u by dou x value. Dou u by dou x is dou v by dou y. You just put here, that is dou v by dou y minus dou v by dou y dx dy. So here dou u by dou y both gets cancelled. Here also this integrand becomes 0. Total integral, double integral values becomes 0. So integration over c f of z dz is equal to 0. This is the proof of Cauchy's theorem. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Now let me tell you the importance of Cauchy's theorem. Suppose there is a question like evaluate z cube dz along the curve C such that mod z equal to 1. So this is the integral. Evaluate. Your question is evaluate integration over C z cube dz, where C is the circle, mod z is equal to 1. So to evaluate this, we follow line integral problems. Already we had some problems. That means we had some discussions with line integral. The same things we used to apply to evaluate this integral. But I will use Cauchy's theorem for evaluating this integral. Now see how do we apply Cauchy's theorem for simplifying this integral. According to Cauchy's theorem, the function, if the function f of z is analytic, here function means the integrand, the whole integrand of the integral. If this integrand means that function f of z is analytic at all points inside the given curve and also on the curve, then we just put the integral value equal to 0. Now check whether this z cube is analytic or not in this circle equation. First take z cube. This is our function z cube. This is our f of z. Wait 1 minute. So here f of z is equal to z cube. So this integrand I chosen as f of z to apply Cauchy's theorem. Compare these two integrals and take f of z. So now f of z is analytic or not? That is my question. Is it analytic or not? Is it analytic?
Yes, ma'am.
Analytic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. That means for any value of z, it does not gives infinity. That means it is analytic. So clearly f of z is analytic at all points. Whatever the curve you have, that may be circle, that may be rectangle, or that may be entire complex plane. We need not to bother about the circular curve. It is analytic everywhere in the complex plane. So we apply Cauchy's theorem. F of z is analytic at all points inside and on a closed curve. Clearly this function z cube is analytic everywhere in the complex plane. This curve also in the complex plane. So this z cube is analytic in this circle curve. So clearly by Cauchy's theorem we put this integral value is equal to 0. No need to evaluate this. No need to substitute z values. Understood? So this is the use of Cauchy's theorem. Any doubt, Ra?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Next, I'll move to another theorem. One consequence is there based on the Cauchy's theorem. First we see that consequence, then we move to Cauchy's integral formula. That is also one more important formula. So this consequence is useful for proving the Cauchy's integral formula. That's why just we see this consequence and then we move to Cauchy's integral formula. See now, what is consequence of Cauchy's theorem? Here one diagram is there. See clearly. So this is the diagram. You have C1 curve and one more C2 curve and one more region lies between C1 and C2. Is it visible to you all, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
ma'am.
C1 is one boundary curve, C2 is one boundary, and one more region lies between these two C1 and C2. So our consequence is the function f of z. The function f of z is analytic on C1, C2, and within this annulus region. Then integration over C1 f of z dz is equal to integration over C2 f of z dz. C2 f of z dz. This is our consequence. Cauchy's theorem says if f of z is analytic on C1 and inside C1, the integral f of z dz equal to 0. But the consequence says if this f of z is analytic on the curve C1 and on C2 and within the annulus region between C1 and C2, then we write integration over the curve C1 f of z dz equal to integration over the curve C2 f of z dz. Next, we use this in Cauchy's integral formula. You just remember this. Next, see the statement of Cauchy's integral formula. If f of z is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C, and if A is any point within C, see what they are saying? F of z is analytic. F of z is analytic within the simple closed curve C. This is simple closed curve C. Simple closed curve means it should be closed and simple. So closed everyone knows. See the starting point and ending point both must be same to the curve to say it is closed. But when do you say that closed curve is simple? Can you anyone respond for the question? Can you anyone please respond to the question? When do you say one closed curve is simple? Do you know or not?
No,
No
ma'am.
answers. Yes, okay, ma, I will explain. Simple means a non-intersecting curve, a curve which is not having self-intersections, not having self-intersections. Suppose take one closed curve. I started like this and I moved like this. Again, I intersect the same and then I stopped. This is closed, but this curve intersected at this point. The same curve has self-intersection. So this curve is not a simple curve, but it is closed curve. See, observe this curve, see. It is simple closed curve. It has no self-intersections. So this type of curve is simple closed curve. Now is it clear? Yes. No response. So coming to the statement of this Cauchy's integral formula, if f of z is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C. So our f of z is analytic on this curve C and also inside of this curve, and A be any point inside this curve. A be any point inside this curve. Then f of a can be written like this: 1 by 2 pi I integration over c f of z by z minus a dz. Now within 2.5 minutes our session will be ends. Again you just rejoin very fastly so that we can complete this theorem. Yes, here a is any point within this C. Then we write f of a value like this: 1 by 2 pi I integration over C f of z by z minus a dz. Now see the proof of this theorem. See, according to this statement, we had the curve and also one point inside this. To prove this theorem, I will take one circle with the center this A, with center this A and radius r units. So draw the circle around this point with the center A and radius r units. Radius is r units. Center of this circle is A. So say this curve is C1. So this is one annulus region. So this is annulus region. Annulus means the region which lies between C and C1. So the region which lies between C1 and C is nothing but annulus region. So this is our C1. So now, we drawn one curve C1 around the point A, around the point A. That C1 is the circle whose center is A and radius R. Write that equation. That equation is mod Z minus A is equal to R. This is the general form of circle. See, mod Z minus Z naught is equal to R form. So center of this circle is A. So it is mod Z minus A is equal to R. So from this Z minus A is equal to R e power I theta. See how it is equal to this. I explained here. Once you go through this.